Hello, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us at another IWSCC webinar. Thanks so much to our live attendees for being a part of today's session. And if you're catching this webinar on YouTube or on the IWSCC website, thanks for taking a look at our resources. If you don't know about the IWSCC, we're the Inclusive Workplace and Supply Council of Canada, Canada's national business group for veteran-owned and disabled-owned businesses. We support these businesses and connect them with Canada's largest supply chains. We also provide resources like workshops and webinars like this one that you're checking out right now. So today's session is a practical guide. SAP Ariba, the world of procurement can be very complex, and e-procurement adds its own barriers to accessibility and success. So joining us today is an expert from the IWSCC community here to help you learn to navigate SAP Ariba, or SAP Ariba, as some people call it, and more in this latest IWSCC webinar. I'm very pleased to welcome our guest educator, Igli Xhango from Stone Procurement Incorporated. Igli is a Canadian Armed Forces veteran and founder of Stone Procurement Inc., a veteran and disability-owned business certified by the IWSCC. He brings over 10 years of experience in the military and 6 as an entrepreneur and procurement specialist. Igli applies his expertise in logistics, supplier management, and government contracting, Stone Procurement, and uses this experience to help demystify the often complex world of public sector procurement. His work spans key platforms such as SAP Ariba, which we'll talk about today, as well as Bids and Tenders, Canada Buys, and Ontario's Jaeger portal. So without further ado, I'll hand it over to our wonderful guest educator, Mr. Igli Xhango from Stone Procurement. Igli, thanks so much for joining us today and for sharing your expertise.
Hey, Alex. Well, thank you for letting me actually do this. That was pretty awesome, and hopefully it goes really well. So as Alex said, my experience towards procurement started off during 10 years of military service. My background there was doing human resources and logistic management. Quite a lot of it involved advertising both HR positions, plus quite a lot of different procurement opportunities and tenders. Everything from like trying to procure hockey, like ice rinks, to vehicles, to office furniture, and just a whole bunch of anything that the base needed. On my entrepreneurial side, I own a gym in Mississauga and a clothing apparel line, or e-commerce clothing website for leggings and sports bras and things like that. Stone Procurement kind of started last year with me going, hey, I used to do all of this stuff for the military before. I have all of these great contacts through my entrepreneurial side. Kind of try to mix it together and then see if I can be a supplier for the Canadian government, essentially, and to be a vendor for them. I did find that when I was signing up, figuring out how to use SAP Ariba was confusing for quite a bit of it. And a lot of my initial bids, they were either getting overseen or they were, I was getting disqualified for different, I was getting disqualified for not meeting their technical specifications and things like that. And part of it was just that my profile wasn't right and I wasn't looking into everything correctly. So, and I wasn't downloading the right information for other parts. So for today, my presentation is going to be on essentially how to sign up for SAP Ariba and how to find opportunities on SAP Ariba. So I'm going to share my screen, and the first part is, 1 second. Okay, so to start off for SAP Ariba, I'm just trying to move everything out of the way here. Once you go onto the website, sorry guys, this is going to take me a second here. One second. Sorry, I gotta try to hide this out of the way. Okay. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yeah, at the moment we can see your web browser with the Gemini
Okay.
outline.
Perfect. Oh, my ribbon keeps kind of coming up into me. Let me just move that out of the way. There we go. So for your SAP Ariba, essentially your first one that you're going to get to is going to be this website in here, and you will click into login to SAP Ariba. This will bring up the next page of being able to register, but mine automatically logged me in. So, okay. Hopefully this works. All right, so on this one, what you're going to do is right below the supplier login, click on register now. And you will come up on this page showing, asking you to put in your email address. Once you put in your email address, I'll switch over to my other. Tab. So once you enter in your email address, the next part into it is going to be create a free company account, and you'll be entering in your basic information. So your company legal name, followed by your company's legal address, whether that's here in Canada or in the States. You'd just be, if we're going line by line, you'd be entering your country, followed by your address line 1, line 2, city, state or province that you're at, and then lastly, your postal code. Afterwards, you're going to be doing your administrator account information, so your username and your last name. You can use your email as the login for this. Once you have entered in your login, you'll get a verification code for the next page. So after you've clicked submit, you'll be getting a verification code. Once you enter that in, you'll be coming up onto this page showing update your company profile. So I'm going to try to switch back into my Chrome. There we go. So, and I've got an account that I was just starting to build out on this, and I thought that would be a good idea to actually go through the entire registration process once you've already created the basic information. So this part, I'll be showing it as a live demo.
Just Igli, while we're at this stage, I'll just request a quick pause. We just have an audience member who's not able to see the ASL interpreter. I just want to make sure that they're able to see the interpreter before we move on.
So I can do.
Val, I might try to move you over to the interpreter feature really quick.
Okay.
And actually, our attendee says they can see the interpreter now. Okay, we're good to go. Thanks so much for that pause.
No problem. Okay. All right, so you get onto this page once you've already completed the basic log or the basic registration of updating your company profile. Once you click update, the next page into this is to actually select what you are going to be selling or what your business sells. So their main thing, this is a pretty critical point for registering on SAP Ariba, because this is how you're going to be found by both the public sector and from private sectors. So for this example, I'm going to use a janitorial cleaning supplies. Sorry, guys. Actually, I'm going to use furniture because that's pretty basic. If you type furniture into it, you're going to see that you can kind of get a mix of different furniture, different furnishings. Anything that would apply towards your business, you'd be selecting it on this part. So as an example, I'm just going to add chairs. And you want to be very specific. So if you sell just computer chairs, then you want to put in, you want to select that, and you want to be as specific as possible towards this. And once you have a couple of these, you just click on add, and they will now show up under the categories here. What I also found that was helpful to try to complete your profile is looking at previous tenders on Canada Buys and using their UNSC codes. So, oh wait, sorry guys, I lost my train of thought there. It does help to just have everything as specific as possible towards your own business. The next part, once you've already selected everything, is your ship to or service location. For mine, I did choose just Canada as the entire country. And then the next part is your industry served. For mine, or for this example, I'm going to say that you can choose whatever applies to you, but I will say utilities, wholesale distribution, and financial services and banking. So these are, as an example, are what I would be trying to sell my furniture to. After that, you'd be clicking on save. Okay, so once you've already added your products, your next part that you're going to see is your dashboard for SAP Ariba. Here, their algorithm is going to try to match you with postings that have already been, or with tenders that have already been posted, and that match those categories that you previously selected. So for all IWSCC, because the most of us have the certification as a diverse supplier, what you're going to want to do is click on the top right and then go down into company profile. And from here on, you're going to want to both kind of here you can edit your specific or your specific product services categories. Sorry guys, my cow is just jumping around. You can edit your product services and categories. You can edit your ship to or service location plus the industries served. You are also going to want to fill this profile with as much detail as you possibly can. So add in all of the number of employees, when it was founded, if there's any company aliases, the type of business that you are, rough revenue that's coming in yearly, and if you have a stock symbol. Next part afterwards is your credentials. This is where you can upload your IWSCC certification as a certified diverse supplier, and any other credentials that you have.
We do
Then,
have a
yeah,
comment or partially a
yeah,
question as well. So one of our attendees is walking through along with you, and curious if you've run into this before. So this is Devin in our audience
yeah,
today. Is asking having a pre-existing Ariba account. They've gone to sign into their account and been prompted as new to SAP Ariba account, even though they've already signed themselves up and set up a
yeah.
profile at some point. Do you know if have you ever encountered this, or if it might be related to an update or any changes to SAP Ariba that folks might want to be aware of?
I haven't. I check it usually about like every couple of days to just see if there's anything new that's been posted for me. So every time that I've logged in, it's the profile has stayed the same. So no, I'm sorry, I haven't encountered that yet. It could have been a glitch maybe while signing up on the original account that it didn't fully save, but I haven't encountered it of it prompting me to create a new one.
Interesting.
Good to proceed.
Yeah, I think we're all okay to keep moving forward. Thanks for answering that.
All right, no problem. Okay, are you guys able to still see my screen for sharing?
Yep, I can. I think we're good.
Okay, thanks, Alex. Just gotta minimize that. Okay, the next part under assessments. So in here, I found that this is where you're going to add some of your company policies, like your human rights, and just that any of your policies that have to do with like, yeah, human rights, but also how you're working with your suppliers, for example, or any of your HR policies, or anything that you guys have done or that your company has done that has been assessed for. I'm not sure how to explain that a little bit better. Because it's building out as a new page, I don't have some of my other stuff as my normal one. So sorry if I'm not explaining that as well.
Well, Igli, I have a follow-up
Yeah,
question to that. You mentioned common types of assessments as, say, your human rights policies, maybe if you have any social policies, inclusive hiring, things like that. I see that you're referring to the assessments section.
I am,
So
yes.
in your experience, uh, when we're looking for assessments for your Ariba profile, would these be assessments performed? Are they assessments that you can perform through Ariba, or are they generally performed by, say, a third-party company like a certifier or a
No, so
or
these
something
are
similar?
mostly performed by SAP Ariba. Some of the bids themselves, they will ask, they will have an assessment attached to the bid. So once you register and sign up for the tender, then you kind of have to go through their profile, or you get an invitation in your assessments that you then have to go in. And most of the time it's just check, like little check boxes of, okay, we have this policy, this is our policy in here, with a little text box underneath explaining what, like summarizing what your policy is. Towards the end of it, then you can actually upload your own internal company policies, so that way it matches up with what you are saying onto the assessments.
Okay, I don't want to. I have one more follow-up
Yeah.
question, and then I won't keep you too long. So because you can perform these assessments or list these assessments on your profile page, if I complete these assessments in advance, then if I go to take a look at a tender through the portal, and they're requesting a particular assessment, as an example, let's say supplier diversity, being an IWSCC webinar. If I've completed that assessment at the profile level already, does it automatically complete that for me when I go to take a look at tenders, or does it autofill for me? Or is this
It
something
does,
that I might
yes.
have to do multiple times? It autofills it for me?
No, it autofills for you saying that you've already done this assessment. The main one that I've seen come up for it is from the government of Canada, essentially asking if what your company's stance and what your company's policy is on like human rights and for your suppliers. So some of the questions were, are your suppliers or your manufacturers using child labor? Are they using like slavery labor? And how are, I guess in a way it just it verifies that you're not like no child labor, or your manufacturers are clean, I guess. Anyway, sorry.
Absolutely. Yeah. So
Yeah.
in general, it sounds like if there are assessments that you can complete, especially maybe some of those bigger ones like that, especially ones to do with legal things, supplying goods in Canada, like human rights violations and so on.
Yeah.
It sounds like it can be an asset to your profile to complete those assessments in advance if they're relevant to your organization, or if you can set the time aside to do those, so that when you go off to look for tenders, you're sort of ready to go, and that process won't take you as much time.
That's right. Yes.
Excellent. Thanks very much for answering that. I'll give the floor back to you now.
No problem. Thanks, Alex. So the next part, I haven't gotten to actually use the marketing collateral much onto it. A lot of my marketing has just been word of mouth, or essentially just me using the website to search for different bids and then applying through there. Yeah. I have gotten a few invitations to bid on tenders, but with the next section of using my company keywords. So in this one, I did also add in diverse supplier. I did add in procurement, and also you kind of re-mentioned the same product and service categories that you had up top there. Think of these as kind of being like a hashtag to quickly and easily be found by either public service or private businesses. Social media, if you have a social media page, this is great to add in. Includes anything from like Instagram, Facebook, or I would say more likely probably your company LinkedIn page. Okay. Second. So the next part after that, you can also add in a few more certifications under your, if you go onto the left side, you can go under overview, you've got your credentials, and then add any certifications. This one is pretty straightforward. Once you click add certification, it'll just pop up with a box to upload all your certificates. Next part into it is your sustainability rating. If you have had a third-party sustainability rating completed for your company, this is where you'd be uploading it. Afterwards, the next section of this is your company structure. For mine, it's the entire company is essentially just me right now. So it's a quick upload of your structure. And then your business information is the next part that you want to fill out. So, for the most part, you're not really adding anything in here. You are adding in your tax information, so your business number and your HST number, your sales tax ID or regional tax ID, and then VAT if you guys are registered for it. Here you can also add in your shareholders, your executive board members, and your banking information, because through SAP Ariba, you're able to send out invoices and collect payment as well. Some tenders will have their own specific information that they require out of you. As this is a new account, nothing is going to show up in this right now. And then I did find that if you click right above here on Get Enterprise Account, it does give you a little bit more options on filling out your profile. It's fairly quick. It's essentially just a checkbox, and it will give you that extra accounts without having to pay for anything onto it, or without having to pay anything additional.
Okay, so I did
Yeah.
want to ask that question quickly. So an enterprise account isn't necessarily a higher membership tier that costs more or anything like that?
No, it just gives you a little bit more extra. Think of it kind of like a developer mode for the app, where now you can customize the website and your dashboard a little bit more towards your own liking. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Contacts, customer requested. That's essentially it for setting it up. Under your certifications, this is where you'd be adding the supplier diversity into it. And then there is a specific part. No, that's it. This one. So I will show you guys what I found as the easiest way to find leads on SAP Ariba. So
just before we move on
yeah.
to that section, maybe I'll flag us for a quick pause and just we'll check in with our attendees before we move on from the profile section. If anyone has any particular questions about filling out your profile or the areas that Igli's talked about so far, give everybody a couple seconds to see if anyone has any questions. And so we have a question from Devin. Devin, here, I'll get you a spotlight. So that our interpreter can see you. There you go.
How do you see me? Okay. Okay, so first of all, I want to clarify about the platform Ariba. I've used it in the past, and it's a very complex system. And so to make it easier for the client, so like suppose it's a large client for Ariba to pay me through, like giving up my bank information and so forth, so that I can invoice and get paid. I was wondering, can I set up my invoice through Ariba and through the last part question? I was using Ariba for my invoicing to the client. Yeah. Igli, you want to respond to that?
Yeah. For 1 second. So you can use SAP Ariba to invoice the client for it. Once you've been awarded the tender and you've delivered the products, they get the standard 30 days, but there is an option in there to invoice the clients directly through SAP Ariba. Sometimes on the tender, they will request that you email the invoice to them. So it's kind of tender specific, but there is an option built into SAP Ariba that you can, it'll follow you all the way through the bidding process or through the tender process, where it's kind of like a checklist for them of, okay, you've been awarded the tender. The next step is just going through. Yeah, sorry. The next step is, sorry, I'm back now. Next step is trying to, it's them confirming that they have received the product, and then you have the option to invoice them underneath.
Okay, so I remembered in the past, I would make an invoice myself and I would add it to the Ariba system, but I will try to make an invoice within the system in the future
Yeah.
so that yeah, in that system area, yeah. But he said also follow what tender requires. Sometimes they will say send invoice direct to their email, not in Ariba. You must check to make sure it's clear. Okay, thank you. My next question, let's say can I use my credit card to pay for anything in Ariba?
That I'm not sure on. I haven't had to.
Yeah, like if a client wanted to pay me with just like send me a credit card through the invoice through Ariba, is that service available? Like can they direct
I
pay?
am not sure on that one if they can pay it directly. I believe they can, but I can take a look into it and I can get back to you on that, Devin, because I'm not fully sure if they can pay via credit card through SAP Ariba or if it's just linked to their bank account that they pay through.
Okay, that would be good. All right, thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, thanks,
Okay.
Devin. I don't see any other questions, so let's move on to our next section there.
All right. Okay. So for since it is just Devin, if you want, we can do this searching for specific, like towards your industry, of how to find bids towards it. I can show that as a demonstration.
Oh, we do have a few other attendees,
Okay.
so a general approach might be good for
Okay.
our section. We
Okay.
just have Devin in the panelist room for the
Oh,
accessibility piece.
okay. Awesome. All right. So here we go. So my easiest ways that I found for finding bids is clicking on discovery and then all leads. Sorry guys, my internet is a bit slow. So on this part of SAP Ariba, you have two options. One of them is your request for information. These are tenders that you are just giving a quote on. They are not really ready to advertise it as a full tender, and you're providing them with information on what they should be requesting, or what they're essentially just trying to get information together so that they can put together a tender for advertising. What I'll usually do is search request for information to see of what's coming up or what will be coming up later on. But if I'm looking for something that I can apply to now, you have to check off RFQ. And easiest way to find for something is search by your category. If you don't see anything for your category, say I'll continue with the same furniture side. You'd be typing it in, searching in there. So there is a couple of different tenders that come up for the government of Canada looking to purchase office seating, chairs, and there's a couple that are showing as private leads, and you have a couple more that are under private company ones. You can filter a lot of these out based off what their budget is. So yeah. The other way that if you are not getting anything within your category, the other way that you can go through stuff is by clicking on request for quotation and going. It's a little bit easier to search through because right now, if you view through all of them, you're limited to a number of 10 10 items per page. But if you filter it out through the budget side, then you can kind of see it's a little bit easier to filter, or it's a little bit easier to see what's actually available out there, and something that might have been missed by just putting in your category keywords. So this is kind of like my quick way of, because my company is as a middleman, this is how I search for bids and just checking, okay, well, this is something that I have manufacturers for, and this is something that I can do. And it does make it quite a lot faster to view everything quickly. Yeah, that is part that I've got on there. So I usually start off from the 1 to 10K and then go up on each side, and it makes it a little bit easier to see what's actually available and what either the government or either public service or private companies are looking for. And then once you go in, so I am going to check this chairs again, and then I will choose one to go into, and we can look into how to download the all the documents.
Igli, I have one
Yep.
other quick question while
Yep.
we're looking at accessing the documents. I see that the filters are very useful. I'm sure there are a lot of small business owners, solopreneurs who are not necessarily operating in the 100,000, 500,000, $1 million plus price ranges.
Yes.
It's great to get access to tenders that are in those maybe more accessible ranges for a business that's still building its capacity. I see some of these are listed with very large price ranges. So do you have any insight as to why those ranges might be so large, or any advice for a small business who sees those opportunities? Are they is it something where I'm a small business, I'm really happy working in the $20,000 to $50,000 range, and I see a tender on Ariba that says,
Yep.
yeah, $20,000 to $200,000. Is that something I should avoid, or do you have any recommendations for approaching things like that?
I'd say look at all of them, just because sometimes the person that's doing the advertising, they're not sure what sort of range the tender is going to be under. So you're going to see, like, there's this one, for example, purchase office seating under the standing arrangement for CMP, and they have it from $721 up to $71.4 million, which I think the absolute max is like 100 million or something like that on SAP Ariba. They're leaving it open for everybody to just send quotes. So they're saying we don't necessarily have a budget for this. We're just looking to see what manufacturers and suppliers are sending over to us. So
Okay.
yeah, the number in a way, or the number at this stage doesn't really make much of a difference, because when you're creating the tender or trying to advertise for it, you just have a couple of check boxes to select out of. So when you're not sure and they're essentially leaving it open for whoever applies, there's no set budget on it, or no advertised budget, or no advertised limit. It's just we think it's going to be somewhere around this range.
Okay, good to know. I'll share one more quick question we have in the
Yeah.
chat, which is when you're going through the discovery process, is it also possible to filter by NAICS codes, or I'll add on maybe CIS codes or other like common business
You
sector
can.
codes?
1 second. They work based off commodity codes by UNSC, and UNSPC codes. So they kind of work based off this level. I'm going to see if I can highlight it here. All of these codes, you're able to find them and add these specific commodity codes to your SAP profile by kind of doing a, sorry guys, my computer is a little bit slow. So on this one, you can actually see the GSIN code and the UNSBC code. There is a search function in here that you can limit it strictly towards your business and then add all of these codes onto your profile. These ones, I'll send this out to Alex for kind of as a cheat sheet on how to find these codes and the website for it, with a little bit of explanation about how to use them and where to put them on SAP Ariba. But
yeah,
you
I'm
can
happy to help
filter
share
them
that.
out that way. The SAP Ariba used to have quite a lot more filters, even like 5 months ago, but then they've updated the site and they have removed quite a lot of the filtering options for it. So right now, the main way that they have, or the easiest way to search through the tenders is by doing the budget filter.
Okay, thanks for answering that.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so I see we are at 3:50 and we're getting close. So I will show you guys quickly how to open up one of the tenders and then work off that on how to download the product or how to download the document. Okay. So once you're on SAP Ariba and you've found one, I would first kind of take a look at do the product and service categories match to what you are selling or what you are providing, and then same for the ship or service locations. I would also look at, so because I put the match confidence does show on both your side and the the buyer's side. Then quickly go through the posting summary, seeing a lot of these is the same information, but what you want to look at is it's an overview, or it's a very quick overview of what they're actually looking for. Most of the time it is within the first couple of lines here. This one doesn't really have a lot of information. So what you will have to do is click on respond to posting. Hopefully, sometimes this does not work properly where it's going to just keep loading and loading, or it will keep refreshing the page and putting it up onto the same one. So you kind of have to try a couple of times and hope that the website is good enough to work for the day. Today, it does not really want to. But I'm just going to try to quickly see if I can find another one. Oh, sorry guys, I think this is not working out too well right now for the, yeah, this does happen sometimes with SAP Ariba where it will keep kicking you out and you won't be able to find or to actually go into the leads themselves. I do have another account. I'm going to try to see if I can switch out to that one, and then I can show you guys through that account. under all leads. I'm going to try to see if I can find the same one. I'm going to show you guys from there. I'm going to use this one as an example. Oh, no, for 1 second. A little bit of a hard time finding the right one. So I'll use this one just as a example for downloading the product, because none of the other ones seem to be working too well. So as previously mentioned, you kind of just want to check, make sure that it fits with your company for what you're actually applying into. And then afterwards, you're going to be clicking on response posting. Hopefully this will open up and actually work. Okay, this one actually did work. So once you've gotten to this stage, you're going to want to review the prerequisites. A lot of the time you are essentially just agreeing to the city's terms or to the buyer's term, and you're saying that they will not be held responsible for anything that is happening by SAP Ariba. I haven't really seen too many other agreements on this, or like prerequisites. There is a couple where they will request that you have a specific certification before you start onto the tender, or to start applying for the tender itself. So once you've clicked on and you've reviewed the prerequisite and you've accepted them, you'll be getting onto this page on SAP Ariba that will have all of their documents for download. The spot to download all of them is by going under the references, and here you can download either all attachments or just the main tender by itself. I usually go with download all attachments, and you can select everything underneath. This will open it up as a zip file. And from there, you can actually view all of your downloaded documents and review the tender. Once you are ready to apply for it, this is actually kind of cool because okay. So a kind of cool trick to do is it does allow you to download all of these as an Excel file and then import it as an Excel file. So if you click on that Excel import, it makes this part of SAP Ariba look a lot less confusing and a lot less kind of convoluted. So if you click on Excel import, you can download content and download the attachments. If you download content, it will show you exactly that page, the exact same page that was on SAP Ariba, but now in Microsoft Excel format. Doesn't want to work. Sorry, guys. This specific tender, it does not want to open up for me so that I can show you the same part, but
well, we have some questions, and as a question for you, Igli, we have some folks who are we haven't quite been able to get to your third section, which was some tips for using AI. I wonder if you
Yeah,
have time to stay with us for an extra 10, 15 minutes or so to talk about that.
I do. Yeah.
Amazing.
So I am going
And I do
to,
have just one other quick question I don't want to skip
yeah,
over. Someone noticed, I believe it may have been on the profile that that there's a confidence score that Ariba uses.
yeah,
Can you tell us a little bit about what you know about what the confidence score is and maybe how to improve your confidence score if it's not where you'd like it to be or
yeah.
not at 100%?
So this is SAP Ariba's algorithm, going based off what you have on your profile of all the different industry. It kind of takes in consideration everything that you have uploaded when you were creating the profile, or afterwards too, of how much profile completionist you've done. So if all of your company's information is in there and you're at about 100% completion, you're providing the maximum amount of data for the algorithm to match you with possible leads. So you won't get 100, or some of them you will get 100% if you're saying that, hey, my business is mainly for just like, I use the example of furniture and office chairs. It will match you 100% confidence for office chairs. So it's kind of like a one-to-one. But if somebody is asking for stand-up desks, then it might put you as a 50% confidence match, saying that you as the supplier will be able to provide these products to the buyer. So the confidence match is SAP Ariba's way of quickly telling you whether you should consider applying into this bid or maybe look into another one.
Okay, good to know. So it sounds like it's mostly based on the information that you have on your profile. So maybe another great reason to spend the extra time to really complete your profile and go above just the basic information you need.
Yes. Thanks, Alex.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So for AI wise, I used to use ChatGPT, but I found that lately it's not really the greatest way of, it hasn't been the greatest for summarizing documents and for overseeing them. So I've switched over to Google Gemini, and I found that that has been a little bit more helpful. Let me see if I can find a test, a test lead. And from there, I will download all the documents and I can show you guys how to use AI to quickly assess or quickly analyze the documents and also get, for me, it's creating emails to manufacturers or creating emails to my suppliers, and also having it kind of write up a little bit of my proposal. It might be a little bit too much to try to explain it very quickly.
Maybe we could get sort of a quick tips, and then of course we can always look to host another session just for SAP Ariba, or just for using AI to support your procurement printing. Igli, you alluded to it earlier, but Igli's also generously provided us with a cheat sheet for all of our attendees. So whether you're here live with us today, or if you're catching this recording on YouTube, you'll be able to access that cheat sheet through a link in the description, and we'll make it available on the IWSCC website.
Okay, thanks, Alex. So I'm going to go to, sorry guys, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second and just get a, So I guess just 1 second here. I'm not really sure how to show you guys as much on the AI side. I think for this one, what I will probably do is just send it to Alex as a kind of an additional cheat sheet with prompts to use for both ChatGPT and for Gemini, along with screenshots on, okay, these are what I found to be the most helpful and the ways or how to get it to actually review my bid before I submit it.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can help share that information. There is a quick question regarding AI in the chat, which is we have, open source platforms like ChatGPT and
Yeah.
Gemini. Are you aware of any AIs or supporting software that are specific to procurement or more specific to business that might be extra helpful, or do you find you get what you need, or you kind of
Yeah.
accomplish your goals with
So
something like with Gemini or ChatGPT?
I've found that I can actually accomplish it pretty good with just using ChatGPT and Gemini. I've kind of built for ChatGPT a little bit of a separate folder, or I guess kind of an agent using specific prompts or trying to guide it fully towards procurement, which I will also share on that on the cheat sheet. But the just ChatGPT by itself, the paid version where you can have folders for it, it's very helpful because it's got the memory function in. So once you add in your original, or I guess your main instructions, it's able to recognize and do analyze all of the procurement documents that you download from SAP Ariba without you having to give it extra instructions each time.
Excellent. I know, especially using AI to summarize or to view information, sometimes even the work of figuring out a good prompt, a
Yeah.
good way to get it to ask the right questions is a lot of the legwork. So we're so happy to hear that you're able to share some of your experience in that area too. So to our folks in the audience, I know our time has come a little short. We've stayed for
Yeah,
a few
sorry.
extra minutes as well. No problem at all. It means we had a great discussion. We had some great questions. And if folks who have joined us today have any additional questions or interest in more sessions like this, absolutely, you can always reach out to the IWSCC by emailing me directly. My name is Alex Duerksen. You can catch me at alexd@iwscc.ca, or just email the IWSCC at info@iwscc.ca. You can also catch our website, www.iwscc.ca. It's a lot of letters, but you can always reach out to us to ask questions, to ask about our upcoming sessions, or to express interest in more sessions like these. We're a community-driven organization. We're always happy to hear from folks who want to share resources or access more in the future. So with our time coming to an end, I think we'll, unfortunately, although it was an engaging and very informative session, I'll say a big thank you again to you, Igli, for joining us today as our guest educator, and for sharing your experience and your knowledge.
Thank you, Alex. I appreciate that. So for anybody that 1 hour is kind of a little bit short to try to explain everything into it. If anybody would like kind of a one-on-one, I'm happy to provide it fully free to go through your company of just kind of whatever bid you're looking to put into or whatever you're struggling with, to either on SAP Ariba bids and tenders or on the AI side. I'm on the weekends, I'm usually pretty free, or during the weekdays after 2 p.m. I'm free, and I would be more than happy to help and to assist and to answer questions quite a little bit, like a bit more in depth. And hopefully I can help you out that way.
Yeah, amazing. Thanks so much for that, Igli. And again, you guys can reach out to Igli. Please check out Stone Procurement, fantastic organization. You can also contact us at the IWSCC to help make that connection for you. And again, one last time before we end our meeting today, I'll just say thank you to everyone for joining us. If you're catching this recording on YouTube or on the IWSCC website, thanks so much for joining us as well. Please feel free to reach out to us. I hope you'll learn. I hope you learned something interesting today. I hope you'll learn more about IWSCC on your way. And if you happen to be a veteran entrepreneur, an entrepreneur with a disability working here in Canada, please reach out. And maybe IWSCC can help provide some resources for you as Canada's national business group for veteran-owned and disabled-owned businesses. So thanks again so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you next time at our next great learning opportunity.